Good morning, evening, afternoon, Moss here. Good morning, evening, afternoon, XIers. Again, seems like more and more XI people joining the group, really transforming their lives. So that's really, really great. Fantastic to have you here. Again, we get more and more people getting online, getting interested on, well, what is XI? What is becoming exponentially intelligent about? What is the total human reset, or what is the 18-day hyper meditations and so on like that. So, um, and then, well, there's a couple of good things about, more and more people joining. I mean, it's really fantastic because that's how we really, really change the world, right? That's what we want, right? We really, really want to change the world. But then on the flip side, people who are accelerating, people who've been here for a while, and it doesn't take long to, again, accelerate in XI because it's not psychology, it's not therapy, it's not I want to be a gladiator, all that stuff. It's just literally about changing your frequency or changing dimensions of you in space and time. And that's really the key. So, what we do here, just to wrap it up for you guys, and then we'll get into our topic, the worldwide meditation, and this content, or this, I'm going to be talking about what is the greatest evil on the planet, right? And then obviously doing a meditation to help us say awaken to the greatest evil, and then do something about it. Okay. So that's worldwide meditation coming up. But overall, XI is literally it's not a new technology, it's a timeless technology. It's been around for, well, the beginning of time, because it's based on, say, time and space. So what I've done is, over the two actually three near deaths now, over the three near deaths, really compiled it, put it into, well, a nice handbook, a life handbook on, say, what life is about, how you can transform your life massively. So it's like a 1 2 3 step on changing, transforming your life to be the best possible version of yourself, or what I call the limitless human, because that's what we're really all about. So that's what becoming exponentially intelligent is about. um, the other aspect is that, there's a lot of people who are, coming or stepping up on that ladder and really taking ownership of themselves. And I'm really proud of you there. So we have this dichotomy, new people coming in, and I talk about something, and people go, well, what the fuck is this guy talking about? I don't understand. But if you've noticed, and again, comment in, guys, on those individuals in the beginning who thought, well, what is this guy talking about? And then later on, it's like, I get it. That's what it's about. Right. And then comment in on those individuals, on those of you who thought that way in the beginning. This guy was crazy. This guy didn't know what he was talking about. This guy is, it's so very different than anything I've seen or heard before. And then now I get it, after, again, massive changes in your life with a short period of time. So what we're doing, overall, is creating, say, new content for the beginners, and then content for the intermediate types, and then advanced content. The advanced content really gets me, because I'm really excited about that, because then I get to learn more about what the possibilities are. Again, especially with the third near death, it's crazy stuff that what we can do, and it's almost like instantaneous. This is where you can literally get to a, say, a Buddha type level in a very short period of time, self-actualization in a very short period of time. So, and again, it sounds crazy, but there's a lot of people who are getting on the bandwagon and really going forward, so, which is really nice. All right. A lot of people, yeah, a lot of you talking about, wow, did he have a third near death? Yeah, I did. In Peru, I had a third near death. Call it altitude sickness, call it lack of potassium. I had almost zero potassium in my body, which I could have had a heart attack, but for some reason I didn't. I did cross over again, and I was looking over my body, as my son was holding me down. And if it wasn't for my son, Zach, the middle son, out of six kids, the middle son, literally meditating with me or just holding me down, because I could see my body hovering, just like, like on surgeries, but I wasn't in surgery. I was just hovering over, looking at my body and looking at my son, Zach, and just he was just um, holding me down. Anyway, I'm here. So, so anyway, but that honor of crossing over again. I went to, like, again, higher planes. And when you go to higher planes, and then you come back, you see things from an outside perspective, and that's what near deaths is really, really about. But most people can't handle, most people don't understand, they're not groomed for, say, a near death experience. So when they go back, they get destroyed or they get distorted, a lot of them. And then, they get suicidal and so on because they want to go back to the beauty and grandness that's out there. Well, the worldwide meditations, the worldwide frequency meditations is just about that, is about, wait a second, you um you don't need to have a near death experience to go into those higher planes. Two, as a group, that's where we're supposed to be, in higher planes. And then three, if we all come together and start to understand what we're really about, you know, we start to elevate consciousness. And that's what the worldwide frequency meditations are about. How do you elevate yourself? Again, there's lots of programs that we do. Total Human Reset starts tomorrow. You can still join. You can put that on the screen for people to join, or the team can put that on there. There's lots of other programs if you're new out there. Uh, uh, Moss on Sunday. It explains life and it redefines life, so you actually understand what you're doing here. Because most individuals, it's like it's slave nation. You grow up, you go to school, you get conditioned to get a job, you get married, you buy a house, and you try to have some adventure, but you can't. And it's always like you're running on this fucking treadmill. It's not about your expansion. It's always running to the next step, and then it's like you die, and then the cycle starts over again. I say that because that is part of, say, the world's greatest evil on this planet, is that we've forgotten who we are. So take a deep breath in. The worldwide meditation, frequency meditations, by the way, it's not just a meditation. It's a hyper meditation. So notice your spine as we get comfortable. And so a hyper meditation is simply put. There's a lot of science, a lot of quantum neuroscience behind it. Is that I get you into, say, high level states beyond the normal frequency states of the brain. Okay, you have to go beyond the brain. You have to access higher frequencies like epsilon and hyper gamma and so on, like that, for you to, say, be aware, or start to be aware of your higher self. And no other that I've seen, no other, say, modality, especially like self improvement and so on, does that. So as we get into this hyper meditation, you might feel a little disoriented or distorted, because I'm helping you pull away from, say, the reality that you're in. And like Einstein put it, you can't solve a problem. You can't solve life problems with the same solutions that, say, the problem is in, same reality that the problem is in. So what do? You step outside of yourself, right? You have to. How do you do that? Well, like I said, a near death is really a good space, but do you have to go through a near death? No, you don't. You just have to understand what the concept of a near death is about. And then you can, say, mimic, or I can mimic that frequency for you. And that's what it's about. So again, you might feel like you're expanding, because that's what it's about. Most meditations, what happens is that most meditations, what they do is they leave your physical body and you escape. Most meditations, self motivation, and all that. The frequency meditation, hyper meditations, they allows you to come into your body and fix who you are, literally. Okay, by changing dimension, not psychology. So take a deep breath in. Just notice where you are. Just look around you. If you can, look at nature. If you're inside looking out the window, there's a perfection to nature, and it's always in time. And I'm getting some feedback, D, so you might want to check that out. Okay. So when you're looking for when you're looking for perfection in society, okay, and society now, it's more perfect than ever, or it has to be more perfect than ever. But at the same time, and this is where the greatest evil comes in, it's more, say, chaotic than ever. Okay, so how does that work? How can it be more perfect and how can it be more chaotic at the same time? As you notice, say, the position of your body. If you're sitting or lying down or standing up or walking around listening to this, or if you're listening to this, on a recording after the live meditation, is totally fine as well. So similar frequencies, a little different, but I'm not going to tell you the difference here. It just takes too long. A breath in again. So when you start to look at your life look back, half your life, most of your life, look back at your parents, look at society. There's always striving for a better, say, perfection, a better version of itself. That makes sense to you, right? You always want to be a better version. And there's nothing wrong with that. But the problem is that most people don't know what a better version is. And that, again, is the greatest evil on this planet. Most people would think the greatest evil is somebody like Hitler, and somebody like what's happening in Iran right now, or what's happening, with the Russians right now, and all that, right? And the devastation of the earth, and that's the greatest evil. So nobody, everybody has their own greatest evil. But as you take a deep breath in again, the greatest evil comes from, again, perfection outside of yourself, right? Perfecting your outer world and destroying your inner world. So what that means, as you take a deep breath in, and I'll guide you into that space where you can see the difference. Notice your spine, and then notice your sternum bone. So notice your spine, notice your sternum bone. Just settle in. Take a soft breath in, just a nice relaxing breath in. And as I generate those frequencies, again, that help you remove yourself from yourself so you can see yourself, kind of like a reflection on the mirror. You've got all this crud on your face, your clothes is dirty, but you'd never know it, right? Unless you observed yourself or saw a reflection of yourself or feedback from other people. Take a breath in again. Just noticing your chest, and then noticing again the spine, and noticing your sternum bone. Noticing the space in between your spine and the sternum bone. Again, the sternum bone is where your ribs come together in the front. It's a thicker bone in front. Take a breath in again. We all want a better world. We all want to save the planet. We all want to save the kids. But if you look throughout history, there's been a lot of philanthropy. There's been a lot of organizations. There's more than ever. But if you look at the world today, it's everything is coming to the surface, and it's hasn't really helped. I was writing an article that's going to be published somewhere, Los Angeles Tribune magazine, I believe. Take a breath in, about just that, helping people. And that's part of one of the greatest evils on this planet as well. And if you're new, it's like, shit, helping people. Who's this guy? Right? Just listen. Most people want to help people because, one, they want to help themselves. It's like a psychologist who goes into psychology to help others, but in the base level or the base consciousness, what they want to do is help themselves, right? They want to understand themselves. So take a breath in again. By the way, we're not just working on the group here. It's not just a meditation here, it's a worldwide meditation. With the frequencies I generate, it does, like, say, cover the planet. Okay. And I know, again, that sounds strange, but once you get more and more into XI, you'll start to understand that. It's like a ripple effect. And if you've ever read Power versus Force, you start to see the ripple effect. Well, we've got so many people meditating with us now that it's like throwing a pebble into the water and it creates this wave for us. Okay. Well, the wave, it's not a pebble anymore. It's a huge rock. And this rock, again, as it drops into the water, creates this new wave of consciousness. And that's how these worldwide frequency meditations, really benefit us. Take a breath in again. Notice how you're feeling. Noticing a comment. The world is, well, shit. True. Why is that happening? Why, with all the help and the distortion, with all the help, the technologies and so on, has the world kind of gotten darker? I'm not a doomsayer or anything like that, but it's actually a good thing. Okay. And again, you might go, who is this guy? First, he doesn't like people helping people. Now he's going, it's a good thing that, the world's coming to an end and all this shit's coming up for people. It's because we've elevated our consciousness. Notice your spine. Notice your lower half. Notice your legs. Notice your completeness. As you elevate consciousness, the garbage that you're carrying has to show through. So at some level, okay, whether it's humans, uh, purpose, or a universal pattern that comes through as space and time starts to say transform or change, right? Nature is always updating itself. It's upgrading itself. Again, time and space is upgrading itself. You see that in nature all the time. It's always evolving, right? But with humans, we have a choice. We have free will. So with free will, we have a choice to stay our old selves. We don't evolve. We straight line. And that's the problem. Again, the greatest evil. Notice your spine. Take a breath in. Notice how you're feeling. So over time, what we're doing is that we're coming to a crossroads. We're coming to a crossroads where we get to choose, are we going to go further and evolve and go through, again, and expand our inner expansion? Are we going to go and expand into higher possibilities of ourselves? Or are we going to cycle back around and then recreate those things of the past? If you've noticed, again, this time around, things are going to be different. Things are very different, right? Because we're awakened. It's the same shit that's happening. Masks. They wore masks back in the 20s and 30s with the virus. They did vaccines. They did they did the wars. They did all the abuse patterns. I was watching Blonde, right? The Marilyn Monroe movie and everybody wanted her life. Everybody wanted her except her because she saw the darkness, or it wasn't a happy life. Although from the outside, it's like, damn, I wish, how many of you wanted to be a Marilyn Monroe, right? If you see that movie, you probably wouldn't want to be that. So again, another great evil is not understanding what you really want. Right? Take a breath in again, helping you and the world understand what you really want, what you really need. And this is the time of transition. Many people, there's a lot of predictors out there. There's a lot of people saying it's the end of the world. Ray Kurzweil, a futurist, talking about, technological singularity, where machine, gets more intelligent, than humans, and it starts to take over. AI starts to take over, and so on like that. Again, those are all symptoms of the evils that we've been running on the inside. So take a breath in again. Again, notice your front half, notice the spine, and then notice the line. If you can draw a line, a straight line from your spine, a straight line from the front of your chest, and I might be going all over the place, but the greatest evil doesn't exist, say, in one place. So I'm helping you start to remove patterns of where all these, and that's why I talk about a lot of things, because again, those are the symptoms of the greatest evil. Notice your breath. Close your eyes. We'll go deeper. We'll bring in leaders of the world. Let's bring them in. Let's meditate on them so they do the right thing, because they want to do the right thing, or at least they say they do the right thing. So at least let's keep them to their word, right? They say they want to do the right thing, so let's keep them to the word of doing the right thing. Breath in again. And if you're confused, it's really good. I don't teach in linear progression. Your brain doesn't work like that. Your identity, or your presence, your timeless self, what you want to connect to, like I have through near deaths. You don't have to do that. I can help you do that without a near death. Works in a more spatial referencing, not linear. So your teachings, your learnings should be spatial, not linear. So as you take a breath in again, really getting into that space, notice how you're feeling. Again, if you're feeling confused or disoriented, or you might feel the grandness. So depending on where you are, if you're feeling confused and disoriented, might not like the feeling, that's the junk that's leaving you so you can feel the power within. Now, if you're feeling grand and euphoric, you've probably released all that junk from doing XI meditations, the 18 days, the total human reset coming up, clearing that stuff out and pushing you into, say, the grandness of who you are. So again, this meditation is for everybody. Those people, though, who don't even know that we're working on them throughout the world, right? The way that happens is, well, you have loved ones. You can think about your loved ones and having a better version of them to help the world, right? Breath in again. And notice how you're feeling. Again, if you're not feeling that great, it's all your bullshit, all the lies that you've lived, especially even in your genetics, right? What you've inherited from your parents. Getting ill, that's not, say, normal. Aging the way society does, especially in an advanced technology society, that's not normal. Expanding into your possibilities, that's normal. Healing your natural self, that's normal. Staying youthful and vibrant, that's normal. So the greatest evil, again, is that separation of identity, right? I was listening to Sadhguru on this subject, actually. Take a breath in. Great guy, talks a lot, good stories, but he doesn't give you, say, the definite purpose or what to do about it. And he was talking about the greatest evil. The greatest evil is like, well, you drugs. He was talking about getting high and this. It's like that's the greatest evil. And he was talking about, preoccupying yourself with a job and so on like that. And that's um, those are surface level problems. Yes, those are extensions or symptoms of the greatest evil. So as we take a deep breath in, look at all the problems in the world. And then everybody has a solution. Throughout time, everybody's had solutions, but again, why has those solutions failed? Success, we're more successful than ever. Poor people, homeless people, people who are out, in the tribes, right? They're living in the past. They still have their cell phones, so on. And yet we still have a broken society. Breath in again. How do we fix that? Not by more solutions, not by more rules, not by more dictatorship, not by controlling everybody and putting everybody as equal and making everybody do the same thing. But as you notice your chest, as we go deeper into what we're really looking for, the greatest evil, and I've given you all the symptoms, now I'm telling you where we are, how to fix it. The greatest evil is that disconnect between your physical identity and then your, say, timeless identity. So the greatest evil is a disconnect between your time bound self and your timeless self, and not knowing that you should be together. If you're disparate or separate, what happens is that, well, all the problems that you see in your life, that's where they comes from. The more connected you are to that natural state of being, well, the more you resonate with nature. And as you resonate with nature, well, nature is harmonious. It's natural abundance. That abundance carries forward into human society. We create technologies that are better for us. We create wealth that is better for us. We create success. We don't have to say starve or sacrifice ourselves for the success and the happiness we want for our kids and then future generations. As we take a deep breath in, that's part of the greatest evil, by the way. And by the way, as I speak about uh, what I'm speaking about, I'm seeing it in pockets of, say, who's listening in. Breath in again. And that's why, again, I might go all over the place. So let's have you connect. Again, most people think that solutions are outside of themselves. That's why we've advanced technologies. We've got the best medical technologies and all that stuff ever in history, but more people are dying, more people are ill, more people are sad than ever. Success isn't doing it. Again, that's the greatest evil. Understanding that you are a limitless being and knowing you are a limitless being, way deep on the inside, you know that you are. Even if you don't believe that there's a limitless being, even if you're a scientist, you know there's a grander version of you. So if you're a scientist or an atheist, deep inside you know that there's a grander version of you. Okay. People who are religious and spiritual, they would call it, gosh, there's that spirit in me that's all knowing and all whatever. It's just words. Okay. Breath in again. Let's help you understand where you're supposed to be, what you should be doing. Again, expanding on the inside, connecting to a higher version of who you are on the inside. The greatest evil comes from living a life that you're struggling, you're starving, you're successful, but malnourished, you're unhappy, your kids are ill, society is ill, we're killing each other. And again, those are the symptoms. I'm getting down to the core level problem. You might not agree with me, but again, hundreds of thousands of people noticing patterns from an outside perspective, not an internal perspective. The key denominator to solve, take a breath in, is about, again, that connection between your limitless self, the power within, the force within, the oneness that you're seeking, whatever it is, again, understanding a higher version of self, bringing it in together. And then once you're together and once you're connected, your world will connect. The world itself will connect. You will connect with your loved ones, and then their loved ones will connect. And that's how we unify and come together as one. Okay? Take a breath in. So, the greatest evil in the world, and again, I stress this and I keep saying it over and over again because I'm working on your frequency to help you understand. Because becoming exponentially intelligent or really resonating at your best self, it's a resonance, it's a frequency. It's not, say, a mindset, it's not a concept, it's not a belief that you believe in. Nothing to do with that. That comes afterwards. First, you have to know yourself. So, in simple terms, the greatest evil in the world is not understanding who you are. And let me define that. Take a breath in again. Notice your hips, especially for a lot of women. There's been a lot of torture for the women and men as well. Because if you've got tortured women, those tortured women will torture males. So, and I know that's something that many people will take offense to, but just before you do, just notice patterns. Okay. And then make an assumption, not based on your previous judgment. So that's rule number one here as we get into what you need to do to create a better version of yourself, to eliminate, say, the evil that, say, exists within us. Some people will go, well, it's the devil within, right? So, first step is to observe your patterns. Take a breath in. Second step, people go, well, it's the devil within. We're fighting. God is fighting against this thing called the devil or Satan. It's an outside source that's destroying the world. That's the greatest evil. It's really not. The greatest evil comes in, the devil within. There is, say, that concept. But it's not defined like religion. The greatest, again, the darkness you see is the separation of your light and your physical form and the distance. The more distant you are between the 2 points, again, it's just spatial referencing on where you are. Your your real self, your time-bound self. Again, the darkness that you experience is that separation. It's not anything outside of you. It's not the devil. It's not Satan. It's not the all this. It's not outside. It's the distance. Just observe and then see what you can do. And this is what I'm helping you with. Come together as one. Again, as you fix your own problems, it's the second part of the greatest evil to help you resolve this, right? Most people want to fix other people's problems, whether you're an individual, whether you're, I don't know, psychologist, whether you're, say, a country, right? Countries always want to fix their problems by invading other countries, which doesn't make sense. Breath in again. So let's try to fix ourselves. Let's try to fix ourselves by healing the wounds that we've carried from our ancestors, because that limits us from understanding our pure potential. Notice ourselves. And then notice also that this isn't about creating love or feeling love or, all that woo woo type stuff that feels good for a short time, but then you cycle back to your old standards. This isn't about that. Notice your head and then notice your spine again. This is literally about you understanding who you are. The after effects is the love that you're seeking, the connection that you're seeking. Okay. So I'll stay quiet for a little bit. I'll work on you for a little bit longer. In silence, we'll go into a deep state or a deep dive where I can focus on you all. Again, whether you're listening to this live or as a recording. Notice your heart. Again, notice those people outside of the circle. Notice your loved ones that might be suffering. Start to observe their suffering. Start to understand why they're suffering. And this is where real help comes in. Just want to clarify that. Breath in again. You give somebody food. You see somebody starving on the street. You give them food. You give them money. That's part of the greatest evil, by the way. Again, I'm writing an article on that. We have to ask ourselves. We have to ask ourselves and then why are we in the situation that we're in? And then keep seeking the deeper answers, not the surface level. Okay, like a kid that keeps asking why. That kid is asking why because it's not a top level reason that you're giving them. Okay, so that if you have kids that keep asking you questions, that's the reason why it's not a sufficient answer because it's not the first principle answer. So in XI, we are in first principle. Breath in again. We'll go into that deep dive for a minute or two. Generate those frequencies at a higher level. And then notice your hips. Notice your head. Notice the grandness within you for those who've already, say, pulled it out through the meditations. Notice the grandness around you. You are that grandness. You live that grandness. Again, for those who haven't been to that level, notice where you're hiding your grandness. help you expand that, not just for yourself, but expand that into the world. Notice how you're feeling. You'll notice that as you change, the people around you change, the people around change, the people around them change. And again, it creates this wave that goes throughout the earth. You'll see a lot of changes transform. The predictions that I've had come true. A lot of, say, devastating uh, earth changes. The earth is always upgrading, updating itself. The floods that we're having, hurricanes, not just here in the US, but throughout the world. Again, those are times and signs of letting go of old things for the earth. Okay? Not the end, it's a new beginning, it's blossoming. As humans migrate towards the frequencies or harmonize towards the frequencies of nature, well, we have to shed away those things that aren't working. So you'll see political systems break down. I predicted this years ago. I predicted the virus. You'll see people starting to wake up and go, what's really important? You'll see value, real value come in, not fake value, like currencies, like stock prices and all that. Those values will come to, again, it might be devastating at the financials, but again, when you start to clean out lies, well, that's what happens. We've all been living a lie. Again, part of the greatest evil of the world. We've been living a lie here. Simple as that. Where money is God and people are tools. I'm not saying money is bad. We're just redefining it. Where we are the grand version, money becomes a tool for us. At that level, you can be a billionaire and be happy. Or you can be wherever you are and be happy. That makes sense for you. Breath in again. So in the next month or so, you'll start to see a lot of breakdowns. You'll start to see a lot of, say, lies that have been hidden. The financial markets, in the religious realms, in the political realms, Hollywood, whatever that connects us. Again, that we think we are. Anything that's not true at the higher level and at your level will start to break down. When it starts to break down, let it go, right? Don't save it. Just let it go. Breath in again. Just want to end with this. When you see people in need, again, if you hand them food or money, that's fine. That's great. But the reason why you're handing that out is because you're in need. It makes you feel good to help that other person. And it makes you, or it helps you reference yourself compared to somebody else that is worse off. So when you're helping people and you're going, well, I'm better than them, hence I'll do philanthropy. I'll go help them. I'll go work at, I'm going to, do service for others. Whenever you think that you're better than others and then you're going to help them out in that respect to make you feel elevated, that's where the problem occurs. Again, another evil or another product of the greatest evil, another symptom. So when you're going to help that individual, okay, you could be better than them, of course, but are you as awakened? Probably are, because if you are awakened to a level, you would never be homeless. So you might ask themselves, it's like, what pattern or what frequencies are they resonating that they don't know who they are? And with that intent, you start to go, hey, I'm a grand being. Again, heal yourself first and understand that you're the grand being. Again, the deeper connection of self. And then when you hand that food out or when you are service to others, you're not just helping them at a physical world, but your frequency. By the way, that's how Jesus healed, right? His frequencies, not what he necessarily did. His frequencies healed. Your frequencies will heal that individual by telling them, it's like, hey, I'm a grand being. Did you forget that you're a grand being too? And then that gets them out of the rut that they're in. Try it out with your loved ones. You'll see that again, it'll elevate them. But you have to heal yourself first, right? So again, as we end, the greatest evil that we need to get rid of is not understanding that we are massive, grand, limitless humans living in a limited form. We need to combine the two so we can be our grandest self. We do that, problems in the world will disappear. Thanks for being here, guys. I highly recommend just hanging out. If I confused you, you didn't understand what I said, it's great. Just observe. Don't go, this guy was fucked up. He didn't know what he was saying, especially if you're new. Again, if your life is not going the way it is, observe. Don't make conclusions. Okay? Help hundreds of thousands of people transform their lives massively. So again, just observe what I said, just ponder on what I said, don't make conclusions, and then you'll see how that starts to integrate what I said, starts to integrate within you, and then that aha moment starts to come out for you. And then this is where you start to change not only your life, but the world. All right. Again, thanks for being here. I'm not going to read anybody today. I just want you to settle in, really absorb those frequencies. Take a nap, take a walk in nature, exercise, do what you like doing best, but do not connect with anybody else. Start to understand yourself first, at least for half an hour. Okay. And then, again, go on to your daily activities. All right, guys. I'll see you next week where we redefine life by redefining words in our lives. All right. Notice what you notice and then do something about it if you're not liking what you notice.